It was a Friday night, January 15, 1966. Nigeria was only 5 years into independence, but the young nation was already boiling with anger, tribal mistrust, and political violence. The most populated country in Africa, and one of the six most populated in the world, was shrinking in growth, unity, and economy. Once called the giant of Africa, is now fast becoming a disorganized nation in the eyes of the world. And one of the deepest roots of this problem can be traced back to politics in 1966, a year that changed Nigerian history forever. A dark day that can never be forgotten, when 5 leading politicians were killed in one night by a group of young Nigerian army officers. It all began after the second federal election of 1964, which had been bitter, reached and ended in chaos. Guineas and houses were set on fire. Unknown to many, a group of young Nigerian army officers were already plotting to take power from the politicians. To them, the leaders had failed. They believed the only way to save Nigeria was to remove the politicians by force. Their plan was called Operation Tiger, and Major Juguma Kaduna Insogu was their leader. It began in the northern region capital of Kaduna with one mission: to assassinate the Premier of the North. Their main target was Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto and Premier of Northern Nigeria. That night, Insogu's soldiers stormed the Sardauna's residence. The atmosphere was tense. The Sardauna's guard tried to resist, but the coup soldiers overpowered them. Gunfire broke out. In the chaos, Sir Ahmadu Bello was shot dead in his home, and his senior wife, Ajiya Hafsatu, was also tragically killed. By early morning, Insogu had taken full control of Kaduna. He then went straight to Edo Kaduna and announced martial law, declaring that the rotten system was over.
Major Nziogbu, can you please give me an account of the night of the coup in Kaduna?
Well, it's rather something like the longest day. We started this off on the night of the 13th of January, when a night exercise was planned by the military college, which I command.
In the western region, Operation Tiger struck again. This time, it was led by Major Adewale Ademoyega, another key leader of the coup. Their target was Chief Samuel Ladoke Akintola, the Premier of the West. That night, Akintola was inside the government house in Ibadan. He already knew danger was coming. Rumors of soldiers plotting against politicians had reached him. But still, he stood his guard. True to his name, Akin, he refused to flee. When the coup soldiers stormed the government house, Akintola fought back with his pistol alongside his security men. He fired shots into the night, but the coup soldiers were too many. They rained bullets into the house. After a fast-gun battle, Chief Samuel Ladoke Akintola was killed inside government house. His blood marked the violent end of his premiership. In Lagos, the federal capital at that time, another attack was launched by Operation Tiger Corps. This time, it was led by another leader called Major Emmanuel Ifeajuna. Their target was Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Nigeria's first prime minister, a humble, religious, and quiet man. That night, coup soldiers entered his home. After a brief battle with his security, Tafawa Balewa did not resist. Calmly, he allowed them to take him away, perhaps maybe to protect his family. For this, nobody knew where he was. Lagos was restless. Rumors spread widely. Then, on January 21, 1966, 6 days after the coup, his body was discovered along the Lagos-Abeokuta road near Ifo village. He had been strangled to death, not shot. Report says he was found sitting upright in his white agbada with a Quran placed on him. Many Nigerians saw this as a sign that he died with calmness and dignity. After Operation Tiger had killed 3 leaders, Sir Ahmadu Bello, Sir Tafawa Balewa, and Chief Samuel Akintola, then the coup leaders failed to agree on who should rule Nigeria. Confusion broke out among them. At that moment, Major General Johnson Agoji Ironsi, the head of Nigerian Army, acted quickly. He mobilized royal troops, restored order in Lagos, and then he arrested the coup leaders. By January 16, 1966, Ironsi had taken full control of the government, becoming Nigeria's first military head of state. At first, many Nigerians welcomed him. They were tired of chaos and hoped the army would bring peace. But suspicion soon began to grow. Rumors spread across Nigeria, especially in the north. The January coup had killed mostly northern and western leaders, but no major Igbo politician was killed, like Nnamdi Azikiwe, Nigeria's ceremonial president, who was an Igbo man, but he was abroad on medical leave at that time, and Dr. Michael Okpara, premier of the eastern region, who also saved. Even in the army, most of the officers killed were northerners, while Igbo officers seemed to untouched. To make things worse, Ironsi did not punish the coup plotters immediately. They were only arrested. To many northerners, this looked suspicious. People whispered, why were Igbo leaders spared? Why has Ironsi had not punished the Igbo soldiers? Was the January coup an Igbo coup? And suspicion spread like fire in dry grass. In May 1966, Ironsi made a decision that worsened the crisis. He announced Decree No. 34, the Unification Decree. Before this, Nigeria had a federal system. Each region, North, West, East, and Middle West, had some independence over laws, schools, and resources. But Decree No. 34 abolished federalism. Nigeria would now be ruled as one unit from Lagos. Ironsi said this was to end tribalism and build unity. But Northerners see it as a proof of Igbo domination. They believed, first, the Igbo group killed our leaders. Now, an Igbo head of state is removing our regional powers. Soon, the East will control everything. Riots broke out in the north. Thousands of Easterners were attacked in northern cities. By July, northern officers had lost patience. They wanted the French for Sir Ahmadu Bello, Sir Tafawa Balewa, and their modern colleges. On the night of July 28, 1966, young northern officers launched their Counter-Coup. It was led by Major Devinus Danjuma, Major Murtala Mohammed, Major Martin Adamu, Captain Chun Gaba, and others. Their goals were clear: avenge January skinny, remove Ironsi who they no longer trusted, and restore northern power in the army. This coup was bloody and filled with vengeance. At the time, General Ironsi was visiting Ibadan as a guest of Lieutenant Colonel Adekunle Fajoyi, the military governor of the West. After midnight, the northern coup soldiers stormed Government House. A gun battle broke out. Ironsi was arrested. The officers told Fajoyi that he could step aside since he was not their main target, but Fajoyi refused. He said, "If you are taking my quest, you must take me too." Both Ironsi and Fajoyi were dragged out. They were beaten and later killed in a bush near Ibadan. Ironsi was a Nigerian first military head of state, killed by angry northern army to revenge their leader, who Operation Tiger murdered mercilessly and to take power from Ironsi. But they did not plan to kill Fajoyi, Western military governor, but Fajoyi chose death over betrayal, which was remembered as a symbol of loyalty. After Ironsi's death, chaos spread. Many Igbo officers were massacred in the barracks across the north and west. Trust inside the army collapsed. For 2 days, Nigeria had no leader. But then, a 32-year-old officer was chosen, which was Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon, as a head of state. But the killings of Igbo people in the north deepened the wounds. Nigeria's unity was broken. Within a year, the Eastern Region declared independence as Biafra, leading to the Nigerian Civil War of 1967 to 1970.